Well, hey, after a 1-week hiatus from my weekly videos because I was away at a conference, I want to come back and conclude today a series of videos that I've been doing on memorable quotes. Quotes are simply phrases of truth that have been put out in a way that have caught my attention or caught my eyes. And so I've been sharing some of those with you in the hopes that they would encourage you. So today, I want to look at two from the ones that you guys sent to me. I got a whole bunch. I wish I could address them all, but I can't. But two quotes that I found quite meaningful and I think very helpful as we look at how we go ahead and live life. So here's the first one. It's one that I've actually heard many times, but it got me doing a little bit of research. And it simply is this one: bloom where you're planted. Usually I see this in garden centers, on signs, or different like these things, when you go through Hobby Lobby or something like that. But I did a little bit of researching. It's actually about a 400-year-old quote from the Bishop of Geneva, who actually is credited with originating this quote. And there's a lot about this quote that we could unpack positively or negatively, but what I really like as we look at this is this general idea that it talks about putting your energy into where you are rather than worrying or wasting your time regretting what could be or what you would rather have. A lot of times we're frustrated because we think of old seasons in life that we liked a lot better, or different places that we lived that we thought were more enjoyable than where we are now. We long for other places, other relationships, or past seasons of life, situations with our children or with other people. And when we expend all of our energy in other directions, it leaves us usually in a place of fruitlessness, frustration, and not a lot of joy. Rather, and I think this lines up with what the Apostle Paul said, is say, whatever circumstances you are in, he said, he testified he had learned to be content because he knew that God was at work. And so, rather than lament all the things we don't have or the places that we wish we were, or the job situation we wish we had, rather it would be better to take stock of where we are. And as long as we're there to practice that kind of contentment and let God use us to make us fruitful in the place that he has put us for now. Even if it's not permanent, at least until things change. So that was number one. Good stuff. The other quote which came out was one that was actually sent in. And the origin of this quote is a lot more modern. It's from Robin Roberts, who is a TV anchor. And she had said, and it was based on her own struggle with cancer, she said, "Let your mess be your message." Now again, this is another quote that you could pick apart. We could pull a lot of different pieces out of it, both for good and for bad. And I can't speak to all those implications, but there is something in here that I find quite compelling. And it lines up with the scriptural truth that God is at work in us to act and to do according to his good pleasure. The only thing common to life for all of us that's guaranteed is that we will face messes. There will be problems, there will be issues, there will be conflict, there will be problems, there will be health issues, financial issues. It doesn't matter what it is, we will encounter messes in our life. And we have the option, whether it's because of bad choices or just the circumstances around us, to despair and so on. But what God is doing is he's saying, look, I can use those in your life. I can turn those things around because I am at work. And so his forgiveness for you can actually, instead of having an experience debilitate you, his forgiveness can actually help us find peace that we can then pass on to other people. Our victory over something in a mess through him allows us to give hope to other people who might be looking to find victory in their particular situation. His provision in a mess where we needed something desperately can bring hope to those who are lurking and searching for provision. And maybe even just the fact that he is walking with us, even if our mess is still in place, can bring comfort to the person who is struggling with their own mess at that time. So it's like the quote is saying, don't let your messes destroy you, but instead know that God is at work. He is doing something. And as he's doing that work and we cooperate with God in this, he can actually use us to benefit other people. Hey, great quotes. I appreciate you sending them in. Next week, we're going to start a new direction. I'm going to share with you next Wednesday a little bit about our upcoming summer plans, some of the things we have going at our church, some of the things I think would be good for you to be thinking about as you go through the summer and set us off in a new direction. So until then, have a great week.